What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing, and today I'm going to be predicting the outcome of Sergey Kovalev versus Tervel Pulev, and this is going to be a 10-rounder in the cruiserweight division, and this fight is going to be Saturday, May 14th, from the Forum in Inglewood, California, and this fight is going to be broadcasted on Fight TV. And to gain both fighters' resumes, Sergey Kovalev, fighting out of Russia, holds a record of 34 wins with 4 defeats and 1 draw, with 29 wins coming by way of knockout. He is currently not ranked by BoxRec due to inactivity. However, he is the former unified WBA, WBO, and IBF light heavyweight world champion. And to list his 1 draw, which came early on in his career, it was a technical draw against Grover Young. And to list all 4 of his defeats, he has a unanimous decision and knockout loss to Andre Ward, a knockout loss to Canelo Alvarez, and a knockout loss to Eleider Alvarez. And to list some of his best victories, he has a knockout win over Nathan Cleverly, a unanimous decision win over Bernard Hopkins, 2 knockout wins over Jean Pascal, a knockout win over Najib Mohammadi, a unanimous decision win over Isaac Chilemba, a knockout win over Vyacheslav Shabransky, a knockout win over Igor Mikhalkin, and he also has a unanimous decision win over Eleider Alvarez in their rematch, and a knockout win over Anthony Yard. And to get his opponent's resume, Tervel Pulev, fighting out of Bulgaria, holds a record of 16 wins with no defeats and 13 wins coming by way of knockout. He's currently not ranked by BoxRec due to inactivity. However, he is a former Olympian in the heavyweight division, representing Bulgaria in the London Games. And to list some of his best victories in the professional ranks, he has a unanimous decision win over Valery Brudov, and he also has a knockout win over Vikapita Miroro. And in my opinion, this fight, it's really just an interesting and just sort of tough fight to predict, in my opinion. The reason why it is sort of tough to predict is because Kovalev, 1, has not fought since the Canelo loss in November of 2019, and 2, he is moving up in weight. If this fight was at light heavyweight and if Pulev was a natural light heavyweight, I mean, maybe I possibly would have picked Kovalev, but being that Pulev's the naturally bigger and probably stronger man, being that he's just heavier, I really think that, I'm sort of edging Pulev in this one. Comment down below your thoughts on this fight, because, initially I was thinking Kovalev, but now I'm thinking Pulev. This is really just an interesting fight to predict, in my opinion. A tough one, definitely. So I'm just really interested to see what you guys are picking. And from what I've seen some people picking Pulev, some people picking Kovalev. This is really actually a tough fight, in my opinion, to predict. But, the reasons why I'm picking Pulev is, 1, because he's naturally bigger. He is younger, even though he's not a spring chicken himself, but he does have he does not have the most professional bouts compared to Kovalev, who is over 38. But, Tervel Pulev, I've seen a couple of his fights, but the last time I saw him fight on, American television was in, 2019, maybe around there, maybe even 2018. I didn't really remember the fight, but I remember seeing him. I was like, oh, that's Kubrat Pulev's brother, and he didn't look that bad. He got a knockout win from what I remember. But, I watched some tape of him leading up to this fight. He's a very, very solid fighter. Evidently, he does have a lot of power, being that he has 13 knockouts and 16 wins, and based off of his fighting style, he's more of a pressure fighter, but that's against sort of the lower level of competition he has faced. But still, we don't know how good Kovalev is, being that, he's not really known for having the best chin, 1, and 2, he's moving up in weight, and 3, he hasn't fought in a while, so we'll really see how his chin gets tested and how he will hold up in this fight, and if he still has what it takes to really hang around with some of these decent guys. So, but as for Tervel Pulev, as I mentioned before, he's pretty old for a guy with only 16 fights, and he's also not really had, he's not really the most active fighter, and he hasn't really fought the best competition, so this will definitely be the best win by far for Pulev, if he's able to get it, which I think he will. But, it's really just a tough fight to predict. In my opinion, still either man could get the win, but I'm edging Pulev maybe 60-40 to win this fight. So just to break down this fight, actually, I really think that Sergey Kovalev's chin will not hold up, and that's really the reason, and the reason why I'm picking Pulev. And, I don't really think this fight will be super duper close. Really, because I really think the stoppage will happen in this fight. As I mentioned before, I think that Kovalev's chin will not hold up, and I think that Pulev will get a stoppage. and I don't really think that this fight will last super long. I mean, I think it can drag out to maybe the 8th round of this 10 round or 7th, 6th, but I really think that Pulev has the capability to stop Kovalev like in round 4, maybe round 5, somewhere around there. So yeah, I mean, I think that, I mean, it could be a bit competitive, like, after 3 rounds, the score could be 29-28 Kovalev with his jab, because Kovalev does have an excellent jab. I think that Kovalev in this fight will primarily try and fight at mid-range. I mean, we might see him come forward a bit, but, I mean, he would like to stick out that jab, I think, in this fight, stick it out to keep Pulev off him, and I think Pulev will really just try and come forward, really try and land big bombs on Kovalev, and really try and knock him out, considering his chin isn't the best. But once the 4th round starts, I really think that after the first 3, we could see a mix of styles. We could see Kovalev come forward, but primarily we will see Kovalev fight at mid-range with the jab, and I think that Pulev will be the one coming forward trying to stop Kovalev. But once the 4th round starts, I could see a stoppage win for Pulev happening anywhere from that 4th round up until all the way to the 8th round. So I think that there's a lot of leeway for a stoppage win for Pulev, but it will happen primarily from the mid to late rounds. And I think that Pulev will really start to hurt Kovalev, really start to find more openings, and really start to land his shots more on Kovalev. And I think that Kovalev, his gas tank will not really hold up too well, considering he's not fought since that Canelo fight in 2019, and since his body isn't really the best conditioned. I mean, remember, he's been stopped to the body, he's been stopped to the head. We could see Pulev go to the body a lot, set up some headshots, maybe go to the head and then leave his body open, and that's Kovalev's body open, and then he might go to the body and hurt Kovalev to the body. So I think that, nonetheless, we could get a stoppage win to the body or to the head for Tervel Pulev in this fight. But just to really just say some scorecards that could be out there, like let's say this fight goes 4 rounds, as I mentioned before, it could be 29-28, Kovalev, something like that. The first 3 rounds might be edged a little bit in favor of Kovalev, but let's say it goes 6 rounds, or let's just say Kovalev gets stopped in the 7th, it could be 58-56. Pulev could be 57-57 a draw, something like that, leading up to the stoppage, 58-56, somewhere around there. But once Kovalev really starts to get hit and hurt, I really think that Pulev will sort of drag away with this fight and win more rounds, and it will lead to him stopping Kovalev eventually. And I know before I said that this fight wouldn't really be too close if Pulev gets a stoppage, and I don't really mean that leading up to the stoppage. I mean that after Kovalev gets a taste of Pulev's shots, I really think that he will start to shell up and start to really become a punching bag more of than a tough opponent, because we've seen that before, specifically against Eleider Alvarez. When he got rocked in their first fight, he really just sort of broke down and really just continued to get dropped, and it led to him getting knocked out. But against Canelo, I mean, I can't really say much, considering it was literally just one punch that ended Kovalev and put his lights out. But I mean, even against Andre Ward, once he started to go to the body a bit more, Kovalev got discouraged, started to shell up, and then he got broken down, and the referee stopped the fight. So I think that we could definitely see that happen, but nonetheless, even if it's a complete lights out knockout, if it's a standing stoppage, whatever, corner stoppage, I think it will be a knockout win for Tervel Pulev. So overall, I believe that Tervel Pulev will knock out former unified light heavyweight world champion Sergey Kovalev from rounds 4 to rounds 8 in their 10-round cruiserweight bout. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.